Hello and welcome to another video. Today's video is about the optimal order for investing your money. So, when payday comes along, how should you invest your money? Should you pay off debt? Should you save? Should you invest? There is many conflicting information online. So, what is the best strategy? Let's explore this in today's video. Number one, I suggest firstly you try to save for a baby emergency fund. So this is around £1,000. This gives you a little comfort buffer. I mean a mini safety net. So say something such as your car breaks down or your washing machine malfunctions, you have the money to repair it. And you don't have to dip into your savings or borrow money from people or take out a high interest loan. Now, financially and mathematically, it does make more sense to pay off your debt first, but that doesn't mean it is the most optimal choice, because in the real world, you need to have a financial buffer. Because if shit hits the fan, then you're gonna be stuffed without having some sort of cash laying around for quick emergencies. Two is pay off high interest debt. So this doesn't include a mortgage, car loan, or student loans. This is things such as credit card debts, bank overdrafts, loan shark debts, things where the interest on those debts are absolutely stupid. So, what is considered high interest? Well, anything that is more than 6%, I would say. Now, once you have cleared those high interest debts, then tackle your car loan if you have one, depending on how you financed your car. So, if you used a bank loan, then yes, you could easily pay that off. But if you bought your car via PCP or HP, then it depends on your contract if you can pay that off quickly or you have to stick to the agreements. So in that case, just make the minimum payments that you need to make. Now, student loans in the UK are more of a tax, so you don't have to tackle them to pay them off because they are taken from your wage just like an additional tax. And when it comes to mortgages, I have a different view to other people, in where I personally believe that you shouldn't pay off your mortgage, but instead use all that money you would have used to pay off your mortgage to invest in one or two more properties that will then pay off your mortgage. I made another video on mortgages and investing, so I will link that in the description or the comments. Third is to open up an ISA, which is an individual savings account, and use that account to invest. So mainly you want to invest in the stock market for the very long term, because on average the market returns 10% per year. But that doesn't mean you're going to get 10% every single year. For some years you might get a 20% return, other years you might be in the negatives. But none of this matters because historically the average rate of return is 10%, which means you should invest for the long term, 5, 10, 15, 20 plus year time horizon. And the reason is because we want compound interest to work its magic on our money. And the longer you are invested for, the longer time compound interest has to do what it does. And for our money to grow. And the reason why you want to invest using an ISA is because it's a tax wrapper. So if you was to invest using a normal account, you will have to pay tax on any income that you earn. But if you invested via an ISA, then you do not have to pay any tax on your income, which is fantastic. Now, number 4 is Take full advantage of your employer match and contribute to your pension. This way, you are making the most of your pension and you are not leaving free money on the table, because for every pound that you contribute, your employer will match and contribute the same amount and put that towards your pension. Now, something to note is that your employer doesn't have to match your contribution, but they do have to pay 3% into your pension. So if your pre-tax salary, for example, is £100,000, then your employer has to put £3,000 into your pension for that year. Now, I made a whole video about explaining everything you need to know about pensions, so I will link that in the description or comments. So take a look at that. It clarifies all the most important things you need to know about pensions. Number 5 is to build up a proper emergency fund. So this is 3 to 6 months worth of living expenses saved up. This offers a massive safety net for you. So if shit hits the fan and you're out of employment, then you don't have to panic and try to get any job you can get, because you have the massive buffer of emergency fund that will cover all your living expenses for 3 to 6 months, depending on how much you have saved. So if unexpected emergencies happen, such as your car breaking down, your washing machine blowing up, or your fridge freezer running away, then no stress, you have a lot of money chilling for you to use in case of those emergencies. Now, ideally, you want to have your emergency fund put into a high interest, easy to access savings account. This way, inflation isn't eroding the value of it, and you can also easily access it when you need to without having to pay a fine to do so. And having an emergency fund also means that you do not have to sell off your investments, borrow money from people such as your friends or family, or take out loans to pay for these emergencies, which means then you have interest to pay on as well. And number 6 is another thing that you can do is you can invest in yourself. Now, as cheesy or cliche as that sounds, but it's worth it. So you can take classes, courses, or you could just simply get stuck into something and learn as you go along. You see, the more you improve your skills, the better job you could get, and also the easier it makes your life in a financial and non-financial aspect as well. Therefore, it makes sense to invest in yourself. So that was the video. Hopefully you found it helpful. If you did, then give it a like, comment what you thought below, subscribe, and take care.